Hi, sorry it's been a while, but we're going to explain why.
Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome back to the Dad Brunch mini series. Make sure you watch all of our previous short videos to get caught up on what we're doing here and why, and what Dad Brunch is, and what FastCTO is, and all of that. Link below if we did it right. First, a quick recap of financials. We've each put in an additional $100. So that brings our total contributions to $200 a person, $400 total. So far, our burn rate is just $10.20 a month, which is just G Suite. And you could take a look at a previous video about how we got a little discount on that. Our big expenses thus far have been $140 or so for Squarespace. Check out dadbrunch.com below. They've been $65 for filing with the city of Boston, which you can check out in our previous video. And they've been $40 for our awesome logo, which you could take a look at our Instagram page or Facebook. We're at Dad Brunch or The Dad Brunch. All of that is below as well.
Today we're going to talk about something that's super important for any company, but especially a company that's just two founders, process and morale.
So these are really two separate topics, but they're hugely intertwined because bad process slows you down, which obviously impacts morale.
As an example, in the first couple of months of us developing Dad Brunch, we didn't really do any regular meetings. We didn't really have like a product board which sort of lined out what it was we were working towards. Or do we have any real deadlines? It's really easy to procrastinate when you don't have any sort of outlined deliverables, nor a time to have them done by. It turns into a vicious cycle of procrastination with nothing to deliver, which results in low morale and even more procrastination. That's not good for anyone, and everyone is pretty susceptible to this.
Right, and so the real important bit here is that we both really did know better. We both worked at companies with formal processes that work really well, and we know the good that comes of it. And then on the fast CTO side, we of course tell our clients to start with good processes on day one. So it's really our own fault for not doing this in our own startup. So use this as a word of caution. It can and might already be happening to you. So what processes did we end up implementing?
So for us, we created a list of tasks that need to be completed. We're using software called Trello to keep track of them. But you can use whatever you're most likely to stick with. A notebook, online notebook, a Google Doc, a spreadsheet, whatever, just so long as you and your partners are diligent about sticking to it and checking it on a regular basis. In addition to that, we also started to have twice weekly meetings to go over basically what each of us has done and what we're currently working on. While not necessarily providing true deliverables, at least for me, it does provide a deadline that I can work towards, so I can make sure I have something done for each meeting that we have.
Yeah, that definitely helped us keep each other accountable. And it's okay to realize that whatever you pick right now is probably not going to be your long term solution. As you grow and as your model changes, your processes will change as well. And so it's okay to switch your tooling to adjust to those processes. Um, for example, we know that we'll probably switch to Jira over time because it gives us a little bit more control over each ticket. But we really wanted something that enabled a process right away, and Trello is a little bit easier.
And it's kind of better suited for smaller teams. Jira's the sort of Cadillac of tracking systems, and so for two of us, we don't need that much. Now, not all processes need to be company processes. They can also be personal. For me, since I work from home, that can be a huge source of distraction. So to combat that, I've made it a point to work outside of the home at least once a week, either by going to a cafe or some other space where I can work, or getting a day pass at a co-working space. This helps, deal with some of the isolation that comes from working from home, because it's just me and the dog, and it gets a little boring sometimes.
So, but for me, working from home is not an issue because I have two kids, so it's not very boring. But I had a different problem. For me, because my tasks were a little bit less technical and more ethereal, they always got pushed down the list of other things that came up. So playing by ear to work on dad brunch things really did not work out for me. So I started scheduling explicit time in my calendar to work on specific tasks relating to Dad Brunch. If you do something like this, it's important to stay honest with yourself. If you book some time, be sure not to deprioritize it when something seemingly more important comes along.
You should also take the time to self-reflect on the things that motivate you. Now, Dad Brunch in and of itself is its own motivation to a degree. But for me specifically, I can work all day and all night when there are actual customers at the other end. But in this particular instance, since Dad Brunch is sort of pre-live, there aren't any customers yet. And so I have to sort of force myself to stay motivated. And so the regular meetings that we are now doing help to sort of fill that feeling of accomplishment that I normally get from satisfying customer needs. Recognize that motivation is not an infinite well. Find something in your team, if you have one, that helps refill it. A process that helps keep you and your team motivated, a team outing, or just drumming up some positive press about your idea.
Sometimes just a LinkedIn post that gets a lot of likes will do the trick. If you're a solo founder, look for message boards, meetups, events, soon a Dad Brunch near you, where you could find people, talk about your progress with people who will listen, advise, maybe even respectfully push back, so you can have vibrant conversations and go home with some renewed energy.
Also, don't be afraid to talk to other founders about how they've maintained the motivation. They've likely been down the same road. It's actually a lot more common than you think.
There are plenty of reasons why your MVP or product might be delayed. Don't let bad morale caused by a lack of a simple process be one of them.
Tell us what morale problems you face and how you've overcome them in the comments.
Please check back soon and we'll have more videos for you. Bye!
Dog tax.
Hi!